Hey, everybody. This is two of our clients, Angie and Steph. Both are athletes. Both kind of came to us, and they're both sisters, and they both kind of came to us a little bit a weird kind of route, but kind of the referral route that most people do. Steph has actually worked with personal trainers in the past, and one of the personal trainers, Chris, that worked with us for a while, has actually been training Steph for a long time. So that's how she ended up here. And then Steph referred her sister, Angie, who actually ironically is a personal trainer herself. She had her own business for a long time. She decided what was it, Angie, about a year ago that you decided to stop having your business?
December of 17.
So it's been a couple already. Wow. Okay. So when you guys first came into Protege, you guys have obviously had experience with your athletics your whole life, working with coaches and trainers. Both of you obviously either working with a trainer or a trainer yourself. Steph, when you first came in, what did you like about Protege?
I immediately felt accepted. Usually, I've been in a bunch of gyms and stuff, so a lot of times it's intimidating. They kind of have their own little clique of people, and I never felt like that when I came to Protege. I knew one person, but I immediately felt welcome, and I just jumped right in, and it was great. And I love all the workouts. They're different all the time. That's what I really enjoy.
And how about you, Ange?
Mine's a little different. So coming from a personal training background, we're very critical of group fitness training. Typically what you see in that aspect is, a trainer barely watching a bunch of people doing stuff they shouldn't. So I was skeptical to come in, and Steph kept telling me, come in. And I was like, nah, I'm too judgmental. I didn't think it was going to be for me. And then I came a couple times, actually had some conversations with Scott and Barb, and realized that they know their stuff. So I picked a date and I started, and it was fantastic. And I've been here for about a year and 3 months. And I realized that I wasn't in very good shape as a trainer because I was taking care of my clients and not myself. So now after I shut my gym, I'm focused on myself and my family, and I'm in the best shape, and I just turned 40. So I can't remember being in this good a shape since I was 30. So it's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's funny you say it because it's a struggle Barb and I have a lot of times too. People always make a comment to Barb or myself that, oh my gosh, you guys have it so easy, work in a gym all day. But don't understand that you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're with clients for hours straight. And if you don't actually emphasize putting time into your health, just like any career, it doesn't matter that we're inside a gym, that if you're not putting time aside, that it very easy can be pushed aside and not take care of yourself. And especially stress of owning a business and things like that. And it was awesome having, first meeting you, we bought some equipment from you and then had you come in and, watching you change over the past year plus, just physically, also owning your own business can be very stressful in a lot of aspects and mentally as well. And just seeing that aspect. And it was one thing Barb and I actually had a conversation of that we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves because we see people in the industry, especially people that own their own facility, how burned out you can get. And that's not good for any of our clients either. So it's been awesome watching you. And I'm glad you said that you're in the best shape of your life at 40. And both of you guys just had your birthdays here this month. Yeah. So happy birthday again.
Thank you.
So Steph, when were you first diagnosed with Hashimoto's?
I think earlier this year. I guess I've been tired. I just thought it was age and just like, I've had a lot of gut issues and stuff like that. So I thought it was just that sort of stuff. And then I went to a new doctor, and he said based on my my panels basically, that I had Hashimoto's, and I kind of didn't really think anything of it. I just kind of kept going, and so I really didn't let it affect me at all. Actually, you bring it up, I kind of forgot I had it. So,
which is a really good thing. And for some people, they don't know what Hashimoto's is, but it's an autoimmune disease, and it's thyroid related. And lots of times, like with Barb, when she was first diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis 14 years ago, you know, she kind of, okay, I need to do something to change this. Some people are diagnosed with a medical condition and they start identifying themselves that I am this medical condition. So I love the fact that you're like, oh, I totally kind of just forgot because of you just working on your diet and starting to get better and healthier. You know, over the past few months, I know that just last week we were talking and you kind of had some stomach issues again, but we kind of, you know, addressed kind of, hey, these were the foods that you ate leading up to that point, you know, reintroducing a couple of things that, hey, this might be it. But over the past 3 to 6 months that you've been being a lot more specific on the foods and things, how has your energy levels, your fatigue, your stomach, how has all that been feeling?
It's definitely changed. I've noticed more energy, and I specifically started removing lectin and nightshade type vegetables out of my diet. So I've been doing that for at least 6 months now, and I definitely have noticed a huge difference. I still have, you know, days where I'm tired and stuff like that, but it's not like knock me out tired. So, you know, it kind of comes and goes, but still it's not to the point where I'm like, oh, I have Hashimotos or whatever. So yeah, I just feel like, I need to do something a little different. And
right. And that's one of the big things whenever we talk with anybody about a diet, you know, you can, you know, Ange, like you said earlier about like, oh, group fitness. Oh, it's somebody up front just being a cheerleader telling people to jump around. But that's the same thing with a lot of places with diet. They'll give you, hey, you're eating chicken and broccoli every day. Well, if that's not going to work for you, number one, to follow, or number two, it's not actually a healthy option. Because Steph, if I told you, hey, you need to have beans and peppers every day, that would be completely, that would be completely wrong for you. And majority of people, when they're told a diet and after a week, they feel like they can't follow it, they mentally get so sad and depressed. Like, I'm just not meant to be healthy. Or again, diagnosed with something. Oh, I'm an unhealthy person. There's nothing I can do. You know, it's no different, you know, Hashimoto's or Barb with the RA, you know, type 2 diabetes, all of those are a form of an autoimmune disease, which is really, hey, there have been a series of things over your life of choices you made. Either you knew that they were bad or you didn't know that they were bad for you. And they've just triggered this response in your body. So once you start changing those, your health starts coming back. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome to see that, because the past 3 months, especially, I've seen your body physically change again in a very positive way, which lets you know, hey, my body's starting to work right again. And when you start thinking about things like a thyroid, which is so important to just bodily functions, energy, just weight loss or whatever it may be, if that's thrown off and not functioning right, you're going to have some issues. So it's been really cool to watch you physically change and become healthier in the past 3 months as well. So do you have any follow-up appointments set anytime soon with your doctor?
No, I kind of did my whatever, like 15 sessions. And now I'm just going to kind of practice what I learned and just kind of continue. I think at this point I'm supposed to kind of start adding, you know, healthy stuff that I was eliminating back into my diet, but I'm going to kind of just continue with what I've been doing and just see how that goes versus starting to add the stuff back in. Because I've tried, like we were just talking about, I've tried a few things and it just, I don't know. I'm fine with, you know, I mean, I eat probably the same 15 things in different variations, you know, every day, which is just fine with me.
Yeah. And I know that you started the GI Integrity supplement as well. Because when you're looking at some autoimmune disease, like you said, some of the foods that you're no longer eating, those actually damage your digestive tract. And a lot of people don't understand that. And so that's kind of helped to start rebuilding that, which then, you know, in the future to where your body's gonna be able to handle some of that stuff again. But that's also one big, you kind of hit on a key point with a lot of our clients. A lot of people, as Barb and I are talking with them about diet, they're like, well, I can't eat the same thing every day. But that same person will tell me that they have a donut and coffee in the morning for breakfast, that they go to McDonald's for lunch, and then they have either frozen pizza or macaroni and cheese for dinner. They're eating the same thing all the time. It's just you're consciously thinking, oh, this is really hard, or this food tastes bad. and you really just have to learn some new skills or ways of preparing things. And Angie, I loved the way your reaction was like, oh, you know, because it's funny how much people, like, their mind gets in their way and they mentally say, I can't do that before even trying. Yeah. Or that they run into one little hurdle and they just kind of throw it out the window and go right back to old habits. And that's one of the hardest things about any sort of lifestyle change, is actually making the lifestyle change, you know, and that's one thing.
Sorry, it's not a, you know, all right, I'm going to do it. You just change. I mean, it's a journey. I started I started gluten-free in like 2005.
2005,
yeah.
I remember.
And so it's been that long that I've started trying to figure out what's wrong with my gut. And, you know, so, you know, gluten-free and then dairy-free and then removing this and then trying this. I mean, it's been a long time. So, you know, I think people expect, you know, immediate change. I mean, you know, if you start right away and you will see results, but it's not easy, and people feel defeated if they can't maintain for, you know, a year or 6 months. Well, you know, I've been doing it for over 10 years and I still have a hard time. So it's just, you have to practice and, you know, be creative about how you cook your meals and you make time. It takes practice. So.
Yeah. And, you know, kind of talking about some of that, when you were a trainer, what were some of the struggles that you saw clients go through, kind of the same thing? Because a lot of people, again, Barb, will be told, well, it's so easy for you. You know, I have the same food options as everybody else out there, you know, and so, but there's certain foods that literally isn't even a food option for me. Like going to a fast food place because I'm busy, that's not an option for me. You know, it doesn't even click in my head. It's the equivalent if you'd hand me a hockey puck and go, here, you're hungry, eat this hockey puck. It's not an actual food option, where that's one of the big lifestyle changes. But when you were working with clients, what are some of those hurdles like that you would kind of see people struggle through?
I say it 100% of it stemmed from the individual I worked with, all women, and the woman or whatever, they just never put themselves first. And in the sense of that, they didn't make a priority to keep themselves healthy. So all of their excuses were revolved around, well, I have to do this for this person, or I have to do this for work, or I have to do this for this person. But it was never like, I have to do this for myself. And it would be in the beginning, but that would fizzle out, you know, after the hard work was put in, and, you know, they tried to make some lifestyle changes, some stick and some don't. And I would say 95% of my clients, again, my demographic was all women from 45 to 65. Most of them, this was their third, fourth go around trying to lose 50 pounds. Most of them were thin up into their 40s. Most of them had children. And so, I mean, really, that's a lot of a women's population. That's what we're seeing. And it just, you know, they don't start practicing a healthy lifestyle early on. They create habits where they're caregivers and not taking care of themselves. And then they gain 50 pounds and they don't know how to lose it. They don't know how to keep it off, because it is such a big challenge to change your lifestyle at that point, to put yourself first. So as a busy mom, one thing I said was, before I had kids, even though I had them later in life, before I had kids, I was going to put myself first, and I was going to be important. But I know it might sound selfish, but it's not, because I'm putting myself first. I'm a better mom. I'm more patient. I feel better. I have more energy. And, you know, it's 3-4 hours a week, really. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that much time away from my family. Plus it's, you know, 5 a.m. So
They don't care
if I'm home.
It's not like you're skipping a soccer game and going to work out. You're doing it at 5 a.m. before they get up.
Right. So I think, sorry, that was very long-winded, but that's my answer.
That's perfect, because that is one of the biggest justifications for people have to make an excuse for themselves. Well, I don't have time because I've got my kids this, I got my kids that, I got my family this. It could be like Steph just said of, well, I've got a soccer game tonight. Well, we have classes that start at 5 a.m. Well, I just can't get up that early. Then you're not putting that as a priority, because if it was a priority, you would do it. And yeah, I'm sure you guys don't like waking up at 4 o'clock multiple times every morning either. And that's one big problem a lot of people think is like, oh, but you love to work out. I don't love waking up at 4 o'clock to work out every morning. There's plenty of mornings where, nope, I would love to hit snooze as well. We all have those same struggles, and it's a muscle as well, just developing that skill and that mindset to keep going. And, a lot of people that we see that are 35 to 55 that are in a healthy place and have gone through struggles like both of you have, that it's been 10, 15 years of figuring out what you learned to actually get your body where you want it to get a diet to where you're comfortable with. Or Angie, like you said, putting yourself first, because so many people don't, and my kids won't eat that. So, well, your kids are going to eat what you tell them to, and if they're used to eating garbage food, yeah, going to something that might be a salad, it might be a little bit of a transition at first, but do you want your kids to be 100 pounds overweight by the time they're 30? And that's an important thing to look at. One thing that Barb and I, tell some clients of, every time you're about ready to do something physically or give yourself an excuse not to, or every time you're about ready to eat something, ask yourself the question, does this make me happy? If the answer is yes, then ask, is this going to make me happy tomorrow? Is this going to make me happy in 6 months? And you can, and start taking away some of those things that you justify yourself, because how quick and easy it is if you miss a week worth of working out, that first week back is a big struggle again. It's kind of like people that start to run. They have to understand that the first mile for everybody sucks running. Your body's just getting used to going through that jogging. Once you get past that first mile, then your body starts working properly again. And it's one of the things with our Reinventing Possible course is going to be, so you don't have to spend 15 years trying to figure out all these little things and understand that. But also, there's a lot of studies out there that show that at the age of 35, basically subconsciously, your brain's already pre-programmed into most of your habits. And so after that age 35, you have to start actually learning to reprogram your brain to make lifestyle choices. That's where some people struggle as well, because so much stuff is just autopilot. So how do you overcome that? And that's where, like Angie, like you said, we have so many clients as well that are 45, 65. Some of our oldest clients are in their 70s. I mean, that's a lot of years of habits that you have to start breaking down, and just giving someone a simple diet's not going to do that. Anybody at that age 35 and above, you have to start actually kind of reprogramming, working on the brain just as much as you do the body. And that can take a little bit of time. That's not going to happen in one session or in 6 sessions or in 12 sessions. That might be a 2-month period. That might be a 6-month period. So to kind of wrap everything up, what would you guys suggest to somebody that they're kind of like going, I don't know if Protege is right to me, or should I check this place out? What would you guys kind of suggest? Angie, I'll have you go first.
One thing I wanted to mention, I think this sort of tailors into it, is when I started a year and a half ago, I was exercising, but I was in poor shape. It wasn't consistent workouts, and they weren't efficient workouts, and I just wasn't pushing myself. I came here and it sucked, and it was hard. I mean, it was awesome, but it was hard for me more emotionally than anything. I've always been in good shape my whole life. I've always, I never let myself get to a point of being so out of shape. And there were multiple classes where I cried from frustration just because I was so out of shape. Fast forward a year, now that I'm strong and I have lots of room to improve still and more strength to gain. I'm strong though. And every workout, although challenging, is amazing, and I feel good and it's fun, and I've learned to love and be passionate about working out again, whereas I didn't love it before. So if you don't love exercise, it doesn't mean you never will. It's not fun when you're not in good shape. But when you get to that point and you put the hours in, you have an amazing staff and people around you to motivate you, to get you here, to stay here, that helps. And that was, I think, a huge key for me being where I am today. Yeah,
and I'm kind of glad you brought that up. from being in industry and you going through it yourself and you being at Protege, I know that you've probably seen some other people that have started since you started that have that same emotional response. And, you know, Barb and I try to tell people all the time, you know, there's times where physical exercise actually releases emotion. And depending where you're at, we'll have people that get really emotional during a class, and it's not always a bad thing. It's a good release thing. You know, and most of the time when you're taking classes in the morning, some people get really frustrated too, because, hey, it's my first week. I look over here and this girl or woman is stronger than I am, or this guy who's in his 50s or 60s, he's stronger than I am, even though he looks like he's heavier than I am. So why is he beating me? You know, we mentally beat ourselves up a lot there. And, you know, it's one of the big things that we really pride ourselves on is the diversity of people that we have, and that each workout is your workout. You're not there to try to compete against the person next to you. You're just there to be better than you were yesterday, so you can be better tomorrow, you know, and you really, you know, emphasize, and I mean, you walk that walk. You know, I can remember that first month that you were in, and some of those days where halfway through the workout, I'd come over and we'd be chatting for, you know, a few minutes, or, hey, let's go grab a water real quick and let's just recompose ourselves and get back at it. But that's one of the mental struggles a lot of people have. And like you said, nobody jumps into exercise for the first time and like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing on earth. No, it's hard, but it's supposed to be hard, but it's not impossible and it's not difficult. It's just a struggle because you're trying to make yourself better, and it takes a little bit of time for that. So I'm glad you brought that up. I really appreciate it. Steph, how about yourself?
Well, I've been at Protege for, I think, almost 3 years now. And one of the biggest things that I am amazed by is, and I kind of mentioned this before, I feel so included here. And I felt that right away. And even though it's group fitness, I feel like you guys know everybody personally, and you know the ins and outs of everybody. You know, you can come and talk to me about something that we talked about a week ago, and, oh, you remember that? Or, you know, I mean, there's other people in our class that I see once in a great while, but not very often, but you guys know everything about that person. So I don't know, it's kind of like a family. And there is all sizes, ages, you know, I mean, all skill levels. And, you know, I can be in a class with somebody that has never worked out before, and somebody that's, you know, been with you guys for 15 years, and it doesn't change the workout. You know, it still feels the same, and everybody's kind of on the same page and rooting for each other. So that's what I really like about Protege. That's what keeps me
Well,
going.
I love when clients tell Barb and I that, where they've tried like a different facility, like they're on vacation somewhere, or they went to like a family member's workout place, and like, yeah, the trainer or the person leading the class just told us to go grab some dumbbells. And so I grabbed some 10-pounders, and them going through the class going, well, this is way too easy. You know, that Barb and I pretty much always tell you guys, hey, go grab this weight, because we know what exercise we're going to have you guys do. We know your strengths. We know things that you're struggling with, you know, and you going through a shoulder issue right now. Steph, you've had some back issues. You know, there's clients that you'll talk about in class where, like Dave, with, you know, being in his 60s and having knee issues, he's still working out side by side, but we might adjust some of those things. And you'll have clients that might be 300 pounds, or someone that's really athletic or twice as strong, but we can still partner you guys up because we know where you guys are at. And that's one of the importance of, like you said earlier, about it's not a normal type of group fitness class, you know, Angie, how you were kind of like, oh, I just don't like the group fitness. And a lot of people don't like that, and they love the one-on-ones, you know, and Barb and I still offer that, but many people take a group class for the first time like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm getting a one-on-one. Yeah. Because of the time we spend with each person. And like you said, we do know all you guys very well, and where you guys are at and what you need to work on. And, you know, so you know, on our website or marketing, we'll have adaptable on there, but people don't really understand that where you're at, it really is. We are going to give you the most effective workout possible. make sure you're getting healthier and not just have you do something just to sweat. You know, I can tell anybody, hey, jump around for the next 5 minutes and you're going to start sweating. That's not a hard thing to do, but it doesn't mean it's effective or good for what you need. So I really appreciate both you guys sitting down and chatting today. And yeah, I'll see you. Are you guys both going to be in on Friday?
Be here.
Yes.
I'll see you both on Friday.
Sounds
All right.
good. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.